Instagram teen accounts have automatic protections for what teens see and who can contact them, plus time management tools. And Instagram will continue adding built-in safety features to help create age-appropriate experiences. Learn more about teen accounts and Instagram's ongoing work to protect teens online at instagram.com/teen accounts.
Pay attention. The ferry leaves at 10 a.m. Roads are busy.
Great.
Dad, pack the boot. Suitcases, Tetris style.
Yeah.
Rosie, got your teddy?
Uh-huh.
No going back this time. Honey, how's the car?
Windows clean, car wax, carpets back.
I meant the tyres.
Oh, sorted them at Quick Fit last week.
Brilliant. If things go to plan, it'll be smooth sailing.
Planning the perfect getaway this summer? Make sure your tyres are up for the job. Book today at quickfit.com or your local centre. Quick Fit. Drive away happy every time.
Are you a lifelong fan of General Hospital? Are you a new fan who wants to know more about the history of the show?
Do you enjoy talking about the show with others?
Do you find yourself yelling at the TV?
Is your self-care an hour a day in Port Charles?
If so, we invite you to join hosts
Amanda Kimmel
and Shannon Coach at the place where all the hidden conversations take place and secrets are revealed.
Meet us at Pier 54,
a General Hospital fan podcast. Hello.
Hi.
Welcome to the General Hospital recap for September 16th through 20th, 2024. So didn't have any write-ins for, let me just double check. So I might have snoozed them for tomorrow. Nope. So we didn't have any fan write-ins for the Port Charles pipeline, but I did come across a very interesting article while I was trying to do some research for the show. And I came across an article on FeedSpot that was released on September 12th that lists the 15 best General Hospital podcasts. And we're number 1.
That is so awesome.
Steve and Bradford are number 2, which I feel so bad. I'm like, how? But I didn't even know that this website existed, but they base it on, what does it say? Relevancy, authority, social media followers, and freshness. And I think one thing that we always get complimented on is the Port Charles 411. So
absolutely.
See, my nerdum has paid off.
Your nerdum has paid off.
Now, if we can just figure out getting this to the next level.
Mm-hmm.
I know we've kind of talked about that, though. It's like I'm torn. Like, I don't want big corporate sponsorship because then if they have a say in what we talk about and we don't really bash or do any of that.
Right.
We just want to be a nice, wholesome podcast that has crazy talks.
I don't know that the word wholesome describes our podcast, but okay.
It's about General Hospital, so it's as wholesome as you can get whenever we're discussing things like this.
Okay.
It is.
The fact that the FBI may want to search your phone at some point in time, or that we've talked about what kind of flowers to put over the dead bodies that we would like to bury. I'm not sure that makes us wholesome, but...
That is true. Okay. What would you say then?
Entertaining.
Okay.
I would use entertaining instead of wholesome. I feel like...
I just mean, but anything can be entertaining. So even, we don't get into the fights. We don't get into all that stuff. We have our grapes, which we're going to have. I don't know about you, but we got some this week.
Yes.
But overall, we truly love the show.
Right.
So I don't know.
Right. But that was awesome. I was very happily surprised at the article. And it's just cool to think that there's so many other people out there that have the same interest and love GH. Like, I know everyone loved all the other soaps that aren't on anymore, but I think it says a lot for the ones you
didn't respond to my message.
I did not. I'm sorry.
Do you want to share what that was?
I didn't read. Is it going to be online or is it actually coming back?
It's going to be, hold on. All My Children is going to be starting on Lifetime.
Oh, that'll be fun.
Yeah. But I think that it says ABC, All My Children's former home is connected to Lifetime as Disney owns a stake in Lifetime's parent A&E Networks. after TV Line's first report, A&E Networks confirmed the news that 2 All My Children movies are in development, including one that would be a holiday themed.
Aw.
Oh, I did not go to our BFF Vincent's Instagram. Let me see. Let's see if he said anything. Oh, I don't know, but 2 days ago he posted something with him doing. Oh, he did. I didn't see this. It's another Marcus and Ken video.
Geez.
I did not see that one.
They're so funny.
He has not posted anything about it. So
yeah, I'll be interested to see who is featured in it.
Me too. But maybe then, I mean, we've talked about Disney should have the first 50 years, first 60 years of General Hospital on it. I didn't think about the fact that we have, I don't know, I haven't gone into the whole corporate spider web to see who owns what when it comes to stuff like that. But maybe we could find a place on Lifetime. Who knows?
Sounds good to me.
Yes.
Although we would never get anything accomplished then because we would want to watch all the beginning episodes and then we'd get caught in the storylines that we loved the first time around. And
well, I thought you were talking about All My Children for a second. And then I was like, I never watched that. No, but you're talking about GH, right? Yes. Or all the ones that we wind up finding out through our research. And we're like, what the heck was that? That sounds fantastic.
Yeah,
that's true. See, this is where we do need big sponsorship and
exactly.
Please, so we can actually get paid to do this.
Pay me so I can just sit around and watch GH all day, every day.
Right. Oh, and something that would help is if you are on Apple Podcasts, or I think Spotify has it too, or if whatever you listen to your podcast on, if you go give us like a 5-star rating, that would be fantastic.
Yes.
We never ask for that, but it's appreciated.
We'll start being like the kids that do their own Instagrams and whatever. Don't forget to hit that like button. Give us a big thumbs up.
Oh yeah. I guess you guys could do that too on our social medias. Follow us and give us big thumbs up. Share with your friends. This is where we start to sound old.
No, Madeline watches some girl. She's from Pittsburgh, and she does all kinds of videos, and it's kind of neat because since we're from Pittsburgh, she'll be out, like they'll go out to eat somewhere, and I'm like, oh, like we've been there, like I know where that is, whatever, blah blah blah. But they do end every video with, and don't forget to give us a like or give us a heart and a big thumbs up, and I'm like, oh geez.
Oh, that's fun.
Can you do it? Can you like it in the next 5 seconds? And they do like a countdown or whatever. And so, I guess that's how you get big ratings. This kids want to get it done.
Maybe we need to hire her. How old is she?
We could not afford. And yeah. I think she's 24, but she just bought like a super fancy house in the Pittsburgh area. And
Gotcha.
Very nice car. She makes more money than either one of us ever.
When you said that Madeline follows her, I guess I assumed it was a child.
I guess the girl started when she was 15, just playing around making videos, and then she ended up with a following, and she has a girl that she used to babysit when the girl was younger, and now the girl is part of it too. And so yeah, they have a crazy following. It's cute, the stuff that they do. Some of it's, it's not for our targeted age range. So
yeah,
I don't enjoy it as much as Madeline, but it's a wholesome type of show. So anyway, that's all I think of is big thumbs up.
Okay. Alrighty.
All right. So no pipelines. So we're moving on to Hulu headlines.
No, the 411 is going to be Lucky Part 4 this week, but we are and this is really going to be the first that we've done this way, and we saw a beautiful, I feel like this is the perfect timing.
It is.
Beautiful introduction into, it's going to be Lucky and Liz.
Yes.
For the next couple weeks, because really after Liz came to town, I could be wrong, and unfortunately I'm not going to really have the time to dedicate to watching it, which is just sad for me, but I don't feel like he really did anything on his own that Liz wasn't somehow involved in.
No, because it became the four of them. Like we just talked about, Nicholas just came to town. And so then Liz comes to town, and it's the four of them having adventures, and then it gets to the point where, you know, Emily has the crush on Nicholas, so they're hanging out all the time, and then Lucky and Liz are together, and so
Yeah. So the next couple weeks are going to be dedicated to Lucky and Liz. Yay!
You should just take a screenshot of yourself whenever you say that and make that like the tag picture, because you get the cutest smile on your face every time you say Lucky.
But yeah, and I mean, it's not all good. But they have a great story. I think they have a great story. It's sad, but
he was definitely a jerk, and she definitely went through some stuff. But
she was not exactly the nicest right back.
True, but it's never the woman's fault.
Yes, it can be. It absolutely can be. But all right, so we will get to that on Thursday. But you're right, like it was hard to, even with last week's, you know, trying to not get involved in, it was really 6 people's storyline, and it was an entire storyline of itself where it was the Spencers versus Cassidines, but we didn't get into that because I feel like that's more a Nicholas storyline and definitely more of a Laura and Luke storyline.
Right.
Then, I mean, yes, obviously Lucky was in it and Lucky was hurt by a lot of it, but it wasn't a Lucky storyline. It was our intro into Nicholas, and I would actually probably say that's more a Nicholas storyline. Nicholas and Laura, probably, or Stefan. Like if we were to do an individuals 411, I would say that whole thing would pop up with, the entire thing would pop up with Nicholas. Because like we're not even talking about it with Bobby. We're talking about what Bobby is doing with Stefan, but we're not talking about the overall Spencer versus Cassidine. So, all right. Anyway, but Lucky and Liz are absolutely not able to be separated during the next couple years. You know, like their storylines really don't separate out very much. So it'll be easy when we go back to do Liz. We'll already have that part done for her. Okay. So now Hulu headlines. On Monday, Kristina confronts Molly. Alexis and Sam put their heads together. Ava makes an introduction. Danny has news for Elizabeth. Tracy and Sasha clash. On Tuesday, Sam develops a new theory. Sonny challenges Molly. Alexis makes a big sacrifice. Nina shares her feelings with Sasha, and Drew takes action. On Wednesday, Alexis is in for a shock. Trina and Portia catch up. Rick delivers bad news. Sonny makes a hire. And Molly encounters Dex. On Thursday, Anna and Jason embark on a mission. Lucky is desperate to escape. Elizabeth and Rick have a heart-to-heart. Gio offers an apology, and Dante makes Isaiah's acquaintance. I didn't think we saw Lucky until Friday.
Did they show him on Thursday getting tossed in the cell, and that was it?
No, that was... So we're going to talk about Friday in a second here. So on Friday, Anna and Jason are in great danger. Robert interrogates Brennan. Who's writing these?
Mm-mm.
That didn't even happen.
No.
Ned vents to Lois. More of Ned is trying to reason with Lois. Willow is uneasy, and Curtis weighs a big decision.
No, he didn't.
So Robert wasn't even on this week.
No. Nope.
So there's that.
And where
did Friday come from?
Wasn't it Trina bonding with Stella, not Portia?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Because I know that they did mention, Portia mentioned at some point to Liz she was going to have dinner or something. And Liz was like, oh, I'm so jealous. I'd love to have dinner with my boys. But we didn't actually see Portia have dinner with Trina, right?
No, we didn't. Nope.
It was Stella and her.
My quick vent about that is Trina, she lives in Port Charles.
She does.
The way that Portia was acting was...
like they never see each other.
You never see... I mean, it's exciting when I'm going to go up to see my son at school and it's like, I'm going to take him out to lunch. Like, that's great, you know, because I haven't physically seen him in how long?
Right.
You know, I thought that was just weird. But I don't remember seeing... I got so confused when Friday opened because we'll just jump to that real quick, but then we'll go backwards. We never saw Lucky getting beat up and dragged into the room. Why were Ned and Michael fighting? Where did that come from? Because didn't Thursday end with Sasha and Willow talking? And then suddenly Friday we start off in the middle of a fight with Michael and Ned that came out of nowhere?
Yep.
Okay, so I'm not going crazy over this.
You're not going crazy.
Okay. So where do you want to start, though?
I was just mad about pretty much everything that happened this week. So I don't know. I guess we'll start at the beginning. It says about Sam and Alexis. I felt like that was just stupid. Sam goes to the precinct and is like, Mom, oh no, you got arrested. What's going on? And she knows what's going on. Like, she's not stupid. She knows how their family works. Alexis gives a little bit of detail.
But did she know? I don't think she knew about the gun thing, though.
Oh, did she not? I just assumed that she did.
I don't think she did, because I feel like last week when we last saw Sam, she was with Dante, right? And they were talking about, I don't even know.
See, I would have assumed that Dante would have told her that Rick and Elizabeth turned her mom in for the gun. But maybe he didn't. So anyway, she gets it explained to her and she's like, oh no, what are we going to do? There's nothing that you can do. Like, Alexis isn't going to throw Kristina under the bus. It's just not going to happen. And so then Sam goes to Michael and is like, that your dad killed him, so you need to come forward, blah, blah, blah. Same thing. Michael's not going to turn his dad in. So why don't you look for loopholes that you can go for? Like, finally, she came to the conclusion that she would dive into the lake or river, whatever it is, and find the gun and then prove that was not the gun that was used to shoot Agent Cage. Thank you for finally coming to that decision. But everything in between was just like, what are you doing?
I did like that. I mean, we talk about the favoritism and stuff like that, but Mac was obviously showing favoritism, but at the same time, he wasn't. He's like, I'm giving you the chance to tell me this first before somebody else is going to come in here and you're going to have to talk to them. So tell me now, and Mac would definitely not sweep it under the rug. He would definitely not do anything like that. But he's like, let me be the one to handle this for you. Instead, he has Detective Bennett come in. And so here's the thing. When the moon is out and it is causing reflective light on a shiny object in the grass, it is that dark out, because it's not going to do that at dusk.
Right.
Which you just said is when she said after dinner. So I'm assuming she might mean conservatively 6:37. Let's say that she has a later dinner. Okay, for me, that's a later dinner.
You're odd, but go ahead.
No, I'm a between 5 and 6 person. So sunset in New York is about 6:54. That's the estimated time for today. We are Saturday, September 21st. So you still have sunlight.
Yep.
It's not magically reflecting.
Right.
I didn't like that. I thought that obviously she thought things out, but she just didn't think out science.
No, she would have been better to say that she found the gun in her house. She assumed that Sonny had given it to Kristina for protection. And she knew that would break Kristina's not parole. What is it?
Yeah, that was a violation of her parole. Her being released, whatever it is when she was being released, a condition of her, it literally actually might be a condition of her release.
That could be. Anyway, so she knew that she would get in trouble if she had the gun, besides the fact that she was concerned about Kristina using the gun for self-harm. And so she didn't want to give the gun back to Sonny because she was angry at him for giving it to Kristina in the first place. So she took it and threw it off the bridge. Boom.
But I kind of also understood his point where he's like, why didn't you just call the police? And she's acting stupid, like, oh, is that what I should have done?
Well, that's why I would have said I thought it was Sonny's. I would have said I threw it away.
But then that could come back to bite her on, okay, so you're willing to cover up for Sonny? Because if you just thought it was one of Sonny's guns, obviously, if you threw it away, obviously you thought that there was something wrong with the gun. Instead of maybe you make sure that the gun just gets back to its correct owner. And Sonny even said, one of my guns is missing. And so it really just would have been that.
But I would have said that I was mad at Sonny for giving it to her to begin with. So I didn't want it to get back to him. I wanted him to have a loss from it because guns are expensive. And so I threw.
But that's just, but you see what I mean? Like so in the future, when he's inevitably in trial for whatever reason, if she confesses to that one thing, it could be perceived as she was also protecting him. And
it could be perceived, but I feel like that would be an easier thing to argue than why did you see a gun? Like if you walked outside right now and saw a gun in your yard, you would not pick it up and go dump it off a bridge.
No, I would not.
Now, if you knew that it was your husband's and you had told him he was not to have guns, or you didn't feel comfortable with guns in the house, you might take that gun and throw it off a bridge.
Maybe.
Because you wouldn't call the police because they would give him some type of ticket for not having his firearm put away safely, but ultimately they would hand it back to him.
See, I just don't understand it either. Okay, so we talked about the fact that it was raining really hard, and so the water hopefully swept it away. But I would still have the concern of, what if it washed up onto a bank and a kid got it?
Okay, but you're a little too rational.
Sorry.
That's your problem. And I would probably be there also because
it comes back to you regardless of whatever. I mean, it's in real estate too. So like when I'm talking to a seller about, preparing their home for showing, I'm like, if you have any guns or ammunition, even if you don't have a gun in the house, if you have ammunition in the house, remove it. Because if somebody steals your bullets or steals your gun and then goes and does something, it's still on you.
Yeah.
So if I just throw somebody else's gun,
I don't know that you would think that in the moment if you were Mac.
Not Mac, but Alexis. And I think that's the thing, is that everyone's having trouble buying that you're telling me that you didn't think about what the legal ramifications were for disposing of a gun.
Right. That's her hang up.
Yeah.
But I think that coming up with, I panicked in the moment. My daughter's not in the best mental health place right now. I was angry at her dad. Makes more sense than I found a gun in the yard and I picked it up, because yeah, you just wouldn't do that as a normal person or as someone that is part of the law, an officer of the court, as they like to keep reminding us. You would not just throw that over.
Yeah. You know what else would have worked though? If she had said, just going back to the light, if she had said, I was going out for my evening walk and I had my flashlight. A flashlight would have been an acceptable answer.
Yep.
Because if you're going for a walk, maybe it does get a little darker sooner, but not the moon.
No.
Quit blaming the moon.
No.
People blame the moon for way too many things.
Do they?
That's where the phrase lunatic comes from.
Right.
It's not always the moon's fault.
I'm sure the moon appreciates you standing up for it.
Right on, moon. All right.
Maybe she could have blamed the moon for her not thinking right. The moon is supposed to alter people's moods and stability. So pair that with, she just lost her grandchild. She's in the middle of this fight between her two daughters. The moon was in whatever stage that's supposed to make you not think right. Boom. See? It does work.
Wow.
Anything would have been better than that excuse. No person in the right mind at all, and especially an officer of the court, finds a gun in their yard, picks it up, drives it somewhere, and throws it off a bridge.
Yeah.
It just doesn't happen. I'm sorry.
Liz is going to, well, no, because she can honestly say that, I mean, we all know that she saw a gun.
Yes.
But it is believable that she maybe didn't see a gun,
Right. She can't be 100% positive.
Apparently the moon was not full then.
There's too many trees in that area. It was shaded.
It was only a quarter of a moon, so she couldn't see the shininess of it.
Alrighty. But yeah, so then Alexis ends up having her hearing.
Well, Bennett tells her that her car was seen, because he gave her.
Right.
He was like, so you're telling me no one else drove your car?
You didn't go anywhere else. Yeah, he gave her. She should have known.
But she didn't know that Kristina took the car to the Quartermaines.
I know she didn't know that Kristina took the car to the Quartermaines, but by the way that he asked that question repeatedly,
Yep.
Again, since she has been in the interrogation room how many times for herself or her clients, she should have known that that meant he had information.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. But she didn't know. So
that could have been her story, though. Once he said it was at the Quartermaines, then she could have switched her story and been like, yeah, so I found the gun and I knew it was Sonny's. I was mad that he gave it to Kristina. So I went to the Quartermaines to give it back to him and scream and yell at him. And then I changed my mind and decided, no, he doesn't even get it back. I'm going to throw it in the river and it'll be destroyed.
Okay. That would have been more believable.
Yeah.
I'm just thinking, you're right. You're absolutely right. If she had known that Kristina had gone to the Quartermaines, she should have known by Bennett's asking. But she had nothing to think that he was trying to catch her on.
She didn't know that there was something to catch her on. I just feel like her intuition should have been, wait, there's something else. That wouldn't have wouldn't have had her jump to the conclusion that the car was at the Quartermaines, because no matter what, like, who knows what security cameras would have picked the car up on the way to the cemetery or wherever Kristina would have gone. But she should have known that he had information, and that either at that point she wanted to stop talking, or at that point she, I don't know. Don't lawyers have the right to look at whatever evidence they have that is incriminating their client? So if she's representing herself, doesn't she get to say, like, let me see what evidence you have against me?
Yeah.
So then she would have seen that written somewhere, and she could have concocted a better story.
That is true. Give me 1 second. Cookie's scratching at the door to get out.
I thought she had a cat door.
Not in my room, she doesn't.
Oh, okay.
And then I can't believe that Kristina came into the interrogation room and is telling her, well, I did go over to there to kill him, and then I decided not to.
Right.
I'm sorry. All the true crime documentaries tell me those interrogation rooms are tapped.
Yes.
Because how many times do we have and when the police officer left the room, when the detective left the room, here's how they responded.
Right, exactly. And so Alexis knew that, because she was like, shh, stop saying that. Stop talking about this. Stop it.
Yeah. But then, so Kristina went to Molly and was like, did you just seriously tell them that I committed murder? And Molly's like, what I did tell them as an officer of the court.
All right.
We should make a shot called Officer of the Court.
Yes. Every time they say it, you got to take a shot.
Erica and I were going to do it with the Karen Reed trial. We were going to make one called Sidebar, because they were taking a lot of sidebars. And then there were a lot of repetitive phrases that were being used during it. And we're like, we should make a drink for each one. And then we realized that we would not be able to get through a half hour.
That's correct.
And opted to not do that.
We can only make that shot if we promise to watch the show every day for the 48 minutes that it is. You could not stack 3 or 4 episodes.
No.
Or you would not. I'm sorry, I didn't watch Fridays because I was drunk by the time I got to that one.
We should try to do that sometime, though, with maybe on a week, maybe like during the winter when it's kind of slower for us and it's more plannable, that we'll be able to watch like each night.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe we record, we can do either together or on Zoom watching together and just get like our live reactions and then kind of edit it down, obviously, so it is not a 5-hour long podcast.
Right.
But try to, the bad part about this is the big reactions we get, we don't know are coming.
Right.
So how would we?
Do like a week special of just, we'll see what we get.
Yeah. Good in theory, probably not very practical to actually execute. But back to Kristina and Molly. Molly then gets a phone call from Dex, which, is he allowed to be doing that?
I don't think so.
That Alexis is here. She has no defense. She has no attorney. You need to get down here. She's a prosecutor. She can't be doing that, right?
No, she can't, especially because it's her mom.
And ADA defend a family member. Nope. Assistant District Attorney, not the Disability Act. No, an assistant district attorney in New York cannot defend a family member in a case they are prosecuting. According to the New York State Bar Association, a district attorney's spouse or sibling cannot represent a defendant in a case prosecuted by the district attorney. So it's not just Molly not prosecuting it as an ADA, it is the district attorney prosecuting, which in this case, though, it is being tried by the FBI.
Oh, maybe then.
Okay, can a district attorney being tried by the FBI?
How many more weeks till someone comes and seizes Shannon's computer?
I don't live in New York, so I have. Listen, I can back up every single reason for my searches. All right, this just says no in general. So I'm going to go with no. Molly can't be doing that.
Right.
So, but then there was a lot of like the final chances to say something this week because then Molly is like, I'm giving you one last chance to tell me. And Kristina's like, I did not do it. And she's like, well, mom just got arrested for murder. So attempted murder. Yeah.
I still just think it's ridiculous that we're going to say there's not any more attorneys in Port Charles. Like, I'm sorry, even in our very small compared to what I think Port Charles is supposed to be neighborhood, there is like 30 attorneys. So how in the world is it that in Port Charles there's only those 3 or 4?
Well, Sonny brought back Martin from wherever he's been that made him lose his accent.
Right? Maybe he's been talking with the same dialect coach that Lois has been seeing.
I'm over it. Okay, I understand that there's a lot of, when he came on, from what I understand from feedback, is that it was a completely inaccurate accent, but it's him.
Right.
You know, this is not Mac. This is not Mac coming in with a bad Australian accent that wavered off over a year.
Right.
This is...
He left with it, and then he comes back, and it's completely gone. And they were still having him use some of the same like words that Martin would use, but with no accent to it whatsoever.
Right. And it's part of his character. That's the thing. Mac's accent was never part of his character.
Right.
Martin's identity and part of his character is the Southern charm, the Southern boy, you know?
Right. Right. The same as Lois's was her Brooklyn.
Yep. Thank goodness Ned was like, I cannot trust a word you say because you're not speaking.
Right.
They cannot take away Lois's accent.
No. And even Gio was
at the very worst, have her using it around the house, maybe cleaning it up a little bit in front of Tracy. But when she is standing there talking to Ned, especially in a heated moment between him and Michael.
Right.
You know, if no one else is around, if you're not on the Home and Heart, I want her to go on Home and Heart and have people be like, what happened? Right. I want the sales to plummet. I want them to be like, we found her relatable because she was real.
Exactly. Basically say the same thing that Ned did. Like, how are we going to trust you whenever you just change part of who you are overnight?
Yeah.
But anyway, Alexis represents herself because there's no other attorneys in the whole Port Charles or neighboring towns she can call in. They go to trial. Apparently, she still hasn't seen any of the information that they had because she's just kind of argues from the heart and is like, hey, I have kids, I have grandkids, we've just gone through all this stuff. I'm not going to leave.
That's dumb.
Right.
Because no one who has kids or grandkids has ever, you know what might have helped? I am a caregiver for my daughter who just went through this exceptionally traumatic medical and psychological experience.
Right.
And she needs help. But I mean, you're right. We talked about this already a million times at how quickly Kristina has just bounced back to normal physical activity. She must be a Bumble because Bumbles bounce.
Okay. Alrighty.
It's Rudolph.
Okay.
Have you never seen Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer?
I have, but you pull these references. You don't have to order me another CD. It's okay. Or another DVD. It's okay. I know. Yeah, if she would have said anything better than what she did, pretty much. I was wasn't shocked for storyline because you knew she was going to end up in the same cell as Heather, but I was shocked as far as severity that they took her straight to Pentonville instead of one of the less secure, since she had already been at that and shown that she was not a flight risk from the other facility.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I don't know. Maybe because it's murder, though. Maybe it's the severity of the charge.
But wasn't the other one murder too for like Lorenzo or somebody? Alcazar? Who'd she kill? I can't remember.
Alexis, Davis. I think it was Louise, right? Who was first?
I don't know. Louise, right? And then Alcazar? No, that's not right. I don't know.
Where's her crimes? I don't know. Killed Louise Alcazar.
Okay.
November 2002. Wow.
Okay. That was a long time ago.
I know.
Yeah. So since that was murder. Huh?
I was just thinking, I'm like, I don't know. I don't remember where she went, though.
I think she did go to Pentonville at first, but then they transferred her to the less security one. So, I don't know. I mean, again, you knew that's where she was going to end up with because of storyline. But I did love that finally Rick is looking at the blood tests and is like, wait a second, these aren't matching. And they better not try to pin it on Brad because I'm going to scream.
Yep.
It is Portia.
Yeah. I think that that was my first thought as well, because he just fought so hard to get that job back. Mm-hmm. And Portia's not going to correct anyone. She's going to let him take the fall. I am so tired of her.
Me too, but I'm glad it's going to have to come out eventually. And then we can see how disappointed Trina is in her. And then Curtis can get mad and they can just end things and she can go away.
I did like that he went to Liz and it definitely appeared that he's like, seriously, am I reading these incorrectly? You know, it wasn't just, I need you to get to the bottom of this. He's like, I'm reviewing these and why does the co-chief of staff not know that they do dual testing?
Right.
Especially with the history of General Hospital.
Right.
Come on. I'm actually surprised that we haven't seen that before. And maybe that's why.
I feel like it's also stupid. And again, obviously for storyline, this is how they had to do it. But it's stupid that she even had to go to the hospital to get a blood draw. Like, there are doctors and nurses at the jail that can do basic things. And then, yes, they'll send you to the hospital if you need like surgery or something. There has to be someone at the jail that is capable of withdrawing a tube of blood for them to run a cobalt test on. Mm-hmm. It's not like you have to do like a spinal tap or something to get a sample of blood.
Wasn't she there for something else though, too? Or was she just there to have the blood draw? So maybe GH has that as a chain of command, is that it has to be done on site. But then the other lab, maybe they did go to Pentonville. She just went to the infirmary. The phlebotomist came in, took the blood. And maybe that's why Portia didn't know that there was two different labs doing the tests. Because I would imagine if it was all from the same blood draw, it would be...
It would have been documented that they sent one sample off.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
I wonder if you could do that. Now I'm thinking of the controls around it. I mean, it's cobalt, so it's not like it's blood sugar and stuff like that. So I would imagine that you could probably do like one day here, and it's not really going to skew the results.
Right.
But yeah, so the blood test that GH sent back, said there was basically no change. And poor Rick... Right. Okay, I'm sorry. That's a poor Rick, because I need to figure out why he is so moved by Heather. Because, you know, he's like, is it possible that because you heard this could be a possibility that you're like kind of subconsciously changing? And he got so upset seeing her reaction to it. It looked like it really bothered him. Maybe that's why he went and double checked the second lab. Because why wouldn't he do that ahead of time?
Pay attention. The ferry leaves at 10 a.m. Roads are busy.
Great.
Dad, pack the boot. Suitcases, Tetris style.
Yeah.
Rosie, got your teddy?
Uh-huh.
No going back this time. Honey, how's the car?
Windows clean, car wax, carpets...
I meant the tyres.
Oh, sorted them at Quick Fit last week.
Brilliant. If things go to plan, it'll be smooth sailing.
Planning the perfect getaway this summer? Make sure your tyres are up for the job. Book today at quickfit.com or your local centre. Quick Fit. Drive away happy every time.
Why wouldn't he compare both labs?
Yeah, he definitely should have. See, I thought he just had an invested interest in her, number one, because it was going to be a good payday, but number two, because
Oh, he admitted to that. Yeah.
yeah, that Liz has a connection with her because of Franco, and he's trying to get on
Mhm.
Liz's side. But he did seem to like
Mhm.
actually have compassion there.
Right. Because she even said to him, she's like, oh my gosh, I am so sorry. You just lost a grandchild. Like, how are you doing?
Right. Maybe he's
I don't
surprised
know. There was just something there. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, maybe he went into it with the intention of big payday and Liz, but as he's talking to Heather, I mean, we do see that Heather has changed from the way that she has the conversations with Laura, and whenever she is at the hospital and she talks to Liz and stuff, like whether it was the cobalt or not, her personality is definitely changing, or she's getting even better at masking her crazy. Um, that it looks like she is just a better human being in general. So,
Yeah. So I don't know. I guess we'll see. Because then Rick and Liz went to Kelly's and he was kind of trying to gauge. So, do you think that at some point in the future, there ever could be a time where we would maybe be able to give this another shot?
right. He's like, maybe we could do more than coffee, but, and she's like, no, coffee's good for now. And she even called him out because Joss bought her French fries and he said, oh, you take French fries from Joss, but not from me. And she was like, that's because Joss's French fries come with no strings. And
I love that.
Yours would. And so then he asked for a French fry and she was like, a friendship fry?
Yeah. Joss is going to make Bobbies go bankrupt. She gives away so much food.
I know. I also saw people griping on the Facebook pages about the fact that the bag still said rubies instead of bobbies. And I thought, no, to me, that makes perfect sense. I would use up the stock of what I have.
Yeah.
I wouldn't go
So
get
it said
new back.
Kelly's? Or did they say rubies? Is it?
Oh, it must have said Kelly's. It must have said Kelly's.
Okay.
Sorry.
I'm like, that's a very, very old bag because it was never called Rubies to begin with.
Right,
but if Ruby had her own bag, sure, let's do that.
Kelly's. But first of all,
you're right. Yeah.
It could have said, like, if I was redesigning the bag, I would still have it say Kelly's on one side and I would have it say Bobby's on the other side because I would want to, like, keep the name that Ruby originally had. But, yeah, I'd totally use up the bags.
I do feel like they should have used those up by now, though. But, I mean, I didn't even see that.
Yeah. I wouldn't have noticed it except for I saw somebody saying, like, really, the props people should have put more effort in here. And I looked at it and I was like, what's wrong? And then I saw and was like, oh no, I don't feel like that's a big deal.
I'm just looking to see if there's anything. There's nothing in just images.
Oh, okay.
I Googled. I don't want to get stuck in the Facebook groups.
No, don't. Don't. You'll find out something that we don't want to know. And
don't tell me.
No, I'm saying in general, if you go on those, you end up finding something that you don't want to know.
Yes, that's true.
So, but yeah, Joss is very generous. She gives food to.
Jason's never going to have to pay. And then the person that Jason saved is never going to have to pay because he can also potentially be saving Lulu or helping us get to Lulu. And
right.
And Liz, I'm just cooking up so many fries. I'm just going to give them away. I don't know. Not a, hey, these were made for a takeout order and they haven't shown up. They've been sitting for about 45 minutes, but I can heat them up for you if you want them.
Right.
I mean, she should be documenting the food that she's giving away and food she's throwing away.
If you say so.
She should be.
Okay. I never worked in a restaurant. I don't know how that works.
I feel like that's just in general, though. I mean, you keep track of your inventory.
Alrighty.
All right. Where to next?
How about we were talking about the argument with Ned and Lois. So they were arguing and they were talking about Michael and Ned were talking about who was going to take over Drew's role and whatever. And then Willow's like, you know what? I suddenly just really want to go out. Let's go out. Let's get ready, blah, blah, blah. And so they end up at Curtis's club. And that's whenever we see Drew tell Curtis, like, hey, you're going to take over. I don't know where the description gets that like Curtis needed to make a decision, because Curtis was just like, oh man, are you sure? That's really cool. You don't want to ask Michael first? And he's like, no, I think you're the man for the job. And he goes off and celebrates with Portia. Like, there is no will I or won't I take it. He absolutely was like, yes, please. And then Michael's all offended because he was not offered the position. And Willow just can't stand to be in the room with Drew. So she runs off. What was that? Can you tell my husband I had to leave? Like, you would walk past your husband to get to the exit. So she runs towards the bathroom and then says to the staff, can you please tell my husband that I had to leave? You're going to walk past your husband to get to the exit. Like, what? What are you doing?
And then Drew is right there. Oh, don't worry about that. I can tell him.
Right.
Drew is so condescending and like very elitist.
Yes.
Lately.
Yes. And then he's like, well, yeah, I had to bring Nina. I needed to have a date for everything, blah, blah, blah. And Willow's all upset and sad. And he's like, well, I mean, nothing is going to happen with us again. And then gives her that look like, oh, will it or won't it? I'm just so over them. And she talked to Sasha earlier, and Sasha's like, oh, yeah, I saw you guys kiss. You can confide in me, blah, blah, blah. And Willow's like, why am I throwing everything away? I have the perfect life, blah, blah, blah. So stop. Like, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
It's not like you don't have control of this situation. And other than Drew tracked down the person that saved your life, he has nothing so wonderful about him that you would leave your husband and mess up your kids' lives.
But also, I mean, and it's, he found, but he didn't even find her really. It was like he went and got Liesel. Okay.
Right.
You know, that's fair. But it's not like, it's not like he, did all the legwork to find out who she is, like who would be a good match for you. And then suddenly we find out all these things. It was.
Right. Thanks for picking up my aunt. I know it was dangerous. Here's a nice fruit basket. Have a nice day.
Right.
Done. I just don't get it. Oh, and then the scene in the beginning where she's doing yoga and she falls over into him. First of all, I would have pushed him away. I don't care if it was my actual fiance or someone that I thought was so incredibly hot. If I fell into you and you were that sweaty, I would jump back away from you and be like, ew, okay?
Yeah.
No, I do not want your sweat all over me like that. Ugh.
Yeah. But it's still just so disgusting that he is double dipping.
Yes.
And knowingly. Like, that's ew.
Right. And she heard Nina talking to Sasha about maybe things with Nina and Drew would heat back up over the next few weeks. First of all, ew, Nina, like, how are you even considering that after you know that he's been messing around with your daughter? But
I don't think Nina is planning to sleep with him again, though. She only did that one time since, right?
She only did that one time since, but then she did say to Sasha that maybe things would heat up.
Yeah, that's true.
So I feel like she's hoping that when things settle down with the election, that they're going to be like a couple or whatever. So why is Willow shying away from him like, oh no, she's just too overcome with lust to be around him, when really she should be screaming at him of, I heard my mom talking about you guys. Why are you hooking up with my mom and then trying to hook up with me? Ew.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
Like, at this point, even if I was totally smitten with him, after I heard that he was hooking up with my mom, I would be really angry and want to start screaming at him. That's the reason I couldn't be in the room with him, not because I'm still so flustered by him.
And she overheard that before she talked with Sasha, right?
Yeah.
So she didn't ask for clarification on, so what was Nina talking about?
Right.
But
I feel like it was pretty clear what Nina was talking about.
Yeah.
So, just so much ew. I'm just so over that storyline.
Yeah.
Like, she's not a little girl. This is not her first crush. If this was like Joss back in high school crushing on some guy, I could see these actions. But Willow is a grown woman. I don't know. Maybe I'm unlucky and have just never had some man that makes me act like that much of a fool. I've done some pretty dumb stuff, but I've never been in a room and been like, oh my God, I'm so overcome by seeing him. I have to leave.
Right. I don't know. It's gross. I'm done. Is it November yet?
Right? Let's have the election and have Drew move away, please.
So what's next?
Is there anything else left besides the lucky stuff?
Oh yeah, there's Sasha and Tracy.
Oh. Yeah, I liked that Sasha called her out and was like, would you have the same issues if this was Cody?
Yep.
I don't know. I'm kind of over that too. Like, I know Tracy doesn't have a lot of friends, but in the past few months, years, we have not seen Tracy being as selfish as she was previously. So I don't think that she would be trying to keep Cody from his family for fear of losing him. I think she would be encouraging it.
Well, that's what I was just going to say. I'm like, especially where she was definitely encouraging him to be honest with Mac.
Right.
You know, about, and I mean, she was one of the first people that he told. I finally told Mac.
Mm-hmm. It would be different if, like Mac said last week to Cody or to Felicia about Cody, I'm going to find him a different job, blah, blah, blah. If Cody would have come to her and been like, oh, I'm changing jobs because Mac told me to, then I could see her being like defensive and angry and being like, you've only known Mac, less than you've known me. Why would you leave this job? Blah, blah, blah. But just as far as establishing a relationship, you don't not want your friends to have a relationship with their family or other friends if you're a real friend, which is what we've seen Tracy be with Cody.
Right. Especially where Cody has also been a loner and has talked about not really ever fitting in somewhere or whatever. She's really happy for him. I did think it was interesting because there was like a little gnat. Hey, kitty, come here. You come get this little gnat.
Maybe that's why he wants to talk to you so bad. He's like in my face.
But, she complimented Sasha and she kind of made it sound like Sasha would be settling if she pursues a relationship with Cody.
Right. And I don't think that's true at all. I can understand her saying that about cooking. And I was glad that was something that Nina said then to Sasha was, hey, we have this big event coming up. If I hire wait staff and everything, would you do the cooking for it? Like, get her out there and show that she has more skills. But Cody would support that. He wouldn't hold her back.
Right. Absolutely.
Yeah. I don't like what they're doing with Tracy right now because she had been being so much nicer. I don't know why we're trying to turn her back into a selfish jerk.
Yeah. And then Trina and Stella is making her sign back up for school.
Yeah. Well, how did you feel about that?
I agree that she should be asking those questions, but saying, oh, good, I've already made an appointment with the registrar's office.
Thank you.
That's too much. She definitely needs to be having the conversation of, okay, you're doing great. Because, and we've kind of talked about this, you don't need college anymore.
Right.
And especially where Trina already has this in the art world, it's what she wants to wind up doing. And she's lived a lot of life by her age. And I mean, I can say I was a single mom of 2 when I was going to Pitt. And it was difficult to fit in because, everyone else is talking about partying and all that stuff. And I'm like, yeah, no. Which, I mean, I probably would have been anyway, but it was just different, So
it was different because you didn't have that option. It's different if you choose not to participate in that stuff.
Right.
Rather than, instead of going to this party, I'm going to stay home and study. It's, no, I'm going to stay home and put my kids to bed and then study.
Right, exactly. Or they're going to sit at the table with me and they're going to color and do their own homework while I am doing my homework, which is what we used to do.
Mm-hmm.
But like, I even had a friend of mine who came back from being overseas for the military and then started attending classes. And she's like, I'm just finding it really difficult to be around these
children.
Yeah. I'm like, I'm trying to think of it, for lack of a better phrase, like shallow conversations.
Right.
She's like, I've seen things, and I was like, I get it. It's hard. And Trina's had to go through a lot. And so maybe she just doesn't feel like she fits in at PCU. Maybe she asks Ava if she has any other connections with other art galleries or whatever that she can go be an apprentice.
Right.
She can get different. She was supposed to go to the Sorbonne. Wasn't she supposed to go back there this fall?
Yes.
So what happened to that?
I don't know. Yeah, they told her to take her time in her spot. They would hold a spot for her.
But yeah, it's just, I mean, even with my son, I had him working with a coach, and I told him, I said, I only want you going to college if it actually would make a difference in your career.
Right.
And it does. So he did. But I'm like, if you're able to skip all that and all that debt, doctors need to go to college, please.
Right.
Please, doctors need to go. But I mean, I have 2 business degrees, and I do feel like I definitely use them, but I also feel like I am nerd enough that I would have learned this stuff on my own.
Yeah.
Because my degree in marketing was quickly eradicated by social media.
Absolutely.
And you just don't know how quickly this stuff is moving now, and she should have at least suggested, hey, why don't you at least start by taking like one class?
Right.
Like, one evening a week class. It's 3 hours, one evening a week. See how you feel. Don't just jump back in.
Or even an online class from a different university.
Mm.
I don't know what PCU offers, but I would assume that just based on how our community colleges are, or our smaller colleges are, that they offer like introduction to art and blah blah blah, but they don't have as sophisticated of art classes as what Trina would fall into because she has such an extensive knowledge. So go take an online class from, I don't know, Princeton, Harvard, whatever. I don't know who the art, schools are. But
art schools in the US. Pratt Institute.
There you go.
Hey, and it's in New York. She could even just go audit a class too.
Perfect. So yeah, something like that. I just felt like it was very presumptuous of Stella to be like, not for her to have called and found out, because that was good information to be like, hey, just so you know, if you're thinking about it, you can still register for the next week or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But for her to be like, yep, I made an appointment. Let's go. We're going to go right now. That was uncalled for.
Mm-hmm. I agree. What else? Oh, Cyrus visited Lulu.
Ugh.
And he promised to not give up on her. And then he went to go see Isaiah. And then Jordan lost it.
Yes.
Oh, earlier in the week, Dante was visiting with Lulu and Cody came to meet her. And then he sits down beside her. She's going to have the softest hands. I mean, it's her IV bag drying out her skin. Hold on. Okay. Do people in comas have very dry skin? Dry skin can be a symptom of a coma.
But I would assume it wouldn't just be your hands.
Yeah.
And so if I was like Maxie, I would be moving her sheets up to like upper thigh and putting lotion on her legs too.
Mm-hmm.
Like I could see not going upper arms where the IVs and stuff are probably located. But yeah, I'd want to I don't know. I'd be mad if I woke up after being in a coma and my hands still looked like I was 15, but the rest of me looks like I had aged. Why didn't you people hook me up?
So there is a coma guide for caregivers and how can you help with recovery? And it says the nurses and therapists may encourage you to assist in the care of the patient. This includes grooming, hair care, shaving, applying skin lotion, gently stretching, and positioning patients' arms and legs. And I like that because it's, we saw Maxie's been giving her manicures. It's still maintaining touch, and that connection. So Dante going to apply lotion, Maxie applying lotion, Laura, like they're still maintaining like physical touch and closeness with her, which she'll probably be able to, they talked about the fact that people in comas can hear everything that's going on.
Right.
She's also going to know that they were also being attentive and caring towards her.
So you better remember that in case I ever go into a coma. I expect you to come do some
I will do some
skincare for me.
Yes. Okay. I will not do your hair, but that's what M's for. So there you go.
That's right. That's right.
But then, Dante talked about how much he regrets what he did to her. And all he wants back is her feistiness and her spirit and her passion, I guess, is something. But then he leaves and Cody sits down and is like, hi, Lulu, nice to meet you. Do you want to hear about the time I put worms in his spaghetti? And then Danny came and was looking for Dante because he received a text from Jason that I'm kind of surprised, though, that Jason didn't text Sam and or Liz.
Right.
Hey,
Right.
by the way, heading out of town. Hey, Liz, I'm going to go look for Lucky.
Right. I feel like they'd have a baby mama like thread between the three of them now to be like, hey, I'm going to be here. This is what I'm going for. So that the moms can be like, because the boys are friends. Hey, I'm going to drop this one off at the pizza shop if you want to have your kid meet me or meet him, blah, 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 blah. So the fact that Danny's just like, oh, yeah, you guys are clueless, but Dad's on his way to Nairobi to pick up Lucky was odd to me.
So here's the thing, because I did go back after our show last week, and I was like, shoot, they did say Nairobi last week.
Well, maybe they got word that the camp had been
relocated,
vacated. Yeah, that they are now going to Somalia instead of Nairobi.
Yeah, because then Danny's Googling, tell me about Somalia or something like that, and then he's talking about how dangerous it could be, and he's like, oh, but that's fine, Jason, my dad can handle it. And I did like how Liz handled the whole thing, where she's like, oh, okay, well, why don't we go talk in the break room? I'll get you some food. And she texted Sam, and Sam got there, and then, sent Danny to get BLTs for Isaiah and himself. Isaiah? Yeah, Isaiah.
Yeah.
As a thank you. Yes, a BLT is definitely going to. Although we did find out also from Heather this week that the BLTs in prison are not the same.
Right.
And then
Sam and Liz start talking, and Sam, she's just so negative. I don't like how she forgets who Jason is all the time and tries to twist it like he's some awful person after she was with him for all those years, and is like, I'm just afraid that he's going to get killed, or even if he doesn't get killed, like, it's not healthy for him to be going off and doing these things and abandoning our children and blah, blah, blah. And Liz is kind of like, yes, but no, like, he's going to find Lucky to save, like, my kid's aunt. Like, come on.
Right. And it's, okay, first of all, at least they got this conversation out of her, because this is something that we have been griping about is, but Sam, you knew all this information. You knew who he was. And I love that Liz didn't accuse her. She said, Lucky has not been around for Aiden's life, and as I start to struggle with it, I think, yeah, but you knew him. Why are you surprised?
Right.
So she took her own ownership of her own thoughts and everything. And then Sam was like, well, yeah, I knew who Jason was too. And that's fine that you decided that you wanted to change your life or whatever, but you can't force somebody else to. It's
right.
I knew this girl when we were very, very, very close and no longer. She was actually supposed to be my maid of honor, and 3 months before my wedding. So she was divorced. The guy she was having a baby with is also divorced. They both decided that they never wanted to get married again, that they would live together. She had a daughter. He would, be for all other things, stepdad. And then they decided to have a baby together. And during her pregnancy, she changed her mind and she wanted to get married. And he did not. And she couldn't handle the fact that I was getting married.
Oh, okay.
And haven't spoken to her since. And I'm like, because she changed his mind, he didn't.
Right. You can't be mad. He told you who he was in the beginning. I mean, you can be mad, but you can't expect him to change. Or you can be, you can be disappointed, but mad is not a fair emotion.
Exactly. And to seriously, you couldn't handle the fact that after the stuff that I have been through, that I was getting married, that's obviously I am better off.
It's like we said about Tracy, you want what's best for your friends. You don't get mad at them for having what you perceive as a better life than what you're having.
Right. Or even just being able to have something that you can't. And that's the thing. If she had at least just said, I'm struggling with this and been honest with me, but to straight up say, she's like, I can't be in your wedding. I can't handle the fact that you're getting married and I'm not. I'm like, okay.
Right.
So that was fun.
At least she told you instead of just not showing up.
That is true. That is fair.
Yeah.
So.
But yeah, then Danny walked in and is like, Mom, what are you talking about? You don't think that he's going to make it? Blah, 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 blah. And Sam's kind of stuck there with her foot in her mouth because, yeah, you knew that he was leaving. You knew that he was going to come back. Again, I know you weren't out in the hallway having the conversation, but you didn't even have the door shut. Like, what are you doing?
Right. And then we see Jason and Anna. Jason's sitting down at the table. They're doing their little... I like them working together.
I do too.
It's fun. And then they realize who English is, and it's Holly. And then Holly and Anna are both just stupid and forget everything that they have learned over the past 40 years and have an open conversation while they're both using aliases. Or Holly's not using an alias, but she is giving a different perception of who she is.
Right.
And decide to have an open conversation about how Jason is sitting at the table right now so that they can find Lucky so that he can save Lulu.
Yep. After Anna and Jason had already discussed, like, Anna says to him, okay, so you're going to sit down. I'm going to lift the phone. Then I'm going to go transfer it. And Jason's like, how long is that going to take? There are guards everywhere that are obviously here for him. And there's cameras everywhere. And she's like, it's okay. It's okay. It'll be fine. And as Holly, who has been living with this guy and seen how overprotected he is just going to walk up to Anna. Like, they weren't even in the ladies' room, it didn't seem like. Walk up to Anna and be like, oh, I'm sure now no one's listening. Oh, let's talk about this. Blah, 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 blah. It was just stupid.
Yeah.
I was hoping that they would show Jason and Anna going to their car and Jason saying, I think he's on to us. We're not going back to the compound. Because the way that guy kept saying, like, oh yeah, it'll be great. It'll be so much fun to have them at the compound with us. They'll get what they deserve or whatever. It was just like weird.
Yeah. So did Jason plant that card in that lady's?
Yes.
Okay. Did we see that?
So at one point, I'm almost positive because at one point he looked at his cards and he had 2 aces, and I'm pretty sure one of them was the ace that was in that lady's sleeve, because then at that hand, the guy put down whatever he had, and I was expecting Jason to throw down his 2 aces and be like, boom, I beat you.
Yeah.
And he didn't. The guy won. And so I'm almost positive that the ace that was up that lady's sleeve was one of the original aces that Jason had.
Okay. That was smooth.
It was.
And then...
I mean, it was all working perfectly fine, except for the fact that you should have known that the guards were paying attention. And Anna was pretty slick lifting the phone, but I didn't think she was that slick putting the phone back.
No, that was so sloppy.
Yeah. I feel like even I could have done a better job than that, because she was definitely like leaning up against that coat and put something in the pocket.
Yeah.
And I just think that it's weird, again, trying from my perspective, even if I'm looking, if you got kidnapped tomorrow and I'm trying to save you, if I go to this club and perfect strangers say to me, oh, just go back to the hotel, grab your stuff, then we're going to fly you over to our compound. It's a little rustic, but it has your basic needs, blah, blah, blah. I would be like, no, thanks, because I would think it was suspicious to them that I was eagerly anxious to be like, sure, I've never met you before, but I'll get on a plane with you and go to this compound that is yours. No, I would be like, we'll have to pass for tonight, blah, blah, blah. But, we're going to come back here tomorrow and gamble. If you want to meet up with us, we can have dinner first and then see who the better player is, blah, blah, blah. And put on some type of, like, I'm not just here for information. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah. But then we wind up, I think that's all that really happened there. Because then we see Sonny, or Lucky.
Yes.
We see Lucky being dragged into his cell and beat up badly. And starts hallucinating about Liz.
Yep. It was like real Liz coming to him, not Liz being like, oh my gosh, my darling, I love you so much. You're going to be okay. You have to be okay. Come back to me, blah, blah, blah. She was calling him out and was like, why don't you, essentially man up and get your stuff together and come home, because it's time for you to quit running from what you actually want. And me and your son are at home.
Yep.
And so then that gives him the strength that somehow he still has a pocket knife, which, the guards never searched his front pocket in all this time. But
Apparently
he
not.
suddenly has a pocket knife and is able to get up and crawl over to the door and is trying to unlock the lock. Because there's also not a guard standing anywhere close to the jail cell.
Right. To make sure when he wakes up that nothing happens.
Yeah.
So, yeah. I don't know. It's always scary when they bring back such an iconic character.
Yeah.
And they're doing a great job.
They are. I like that they're not downplaying, why we were told he left, what was going on that he left. And Liz's real feelings about, I always will love Lucky because he was my first love and I have this kid with him and blah, blah, blah. But that doesn't excuse the mistakes that he made.
Yep.
So.
Yep. I do think that is it now. Yeah.
Reality check.
So it's your reality check.
My week was pretty boring. Trying to think if anything happened. Madeline's dance classes started back up again, so she's excited for that because one of the songs. I'm assuming that you have not seen the new Descendants movie, but there's a new Descendants movie out, and it's pretty cute. I feel like Disney does a good job with most of their musical movies that they do. And so there's a song in it called Red that Madeline is obsessed with and has learned all the dance moves to. And so they're doing a mashup of the different songs from the new movie and incorporating some of those dance moves. So she's super, super excited. And then her other dance, they're doing for her duet. They're doing Girls Just Want to Have Fun, which I was so excited for, but they're not doing the old school rendition. They're doing Miley Cyrus's, which no offense to Miley Cyrus. She's a very talented singer, but I'm sorry, I'm disappointed. I wanted the old school version.
The original Cyndi Lauper? Yeah.
Yes. So that's what's going on with her. And Emily aced all of her beauty school tests this week. They had 3, one was doing real life kind of thing. They were learning about perm rods and the chemicals that you use to set perms and stuff. So she had to roll a perm and then take a test on the information side of it or whatever. So she passed. She got 100% on her tests. And so very proud of that. And I don't know if I mentioned, Megan is working at a school for kids with autism. And she is a one of the support aides for them. And she loves the kids that she's with and she loves the whole experience. But I don't think she was ready for some of the aggressions that come with it. So she has called me a few times this week and been like, this kid bit me today and this kid choked me today. And I was like, yeah, I told you you got to be a special kind of person to be able to work with special needs kids. But she has a good heart.
That's not all. And it's not being done with malicious intent. And
right, exactly. No, and she understands that. Obviously.
I'm just letting other people know so that they're not why is that happening? It's right. Sometimes it is part of why they need the extra help.
Yes, exactly. She told a story, kind of with any kid, whenever they say something that they're not supposed to say as parents, it's hard to not laugh because it's funny hearing it come from a kid. They took the kids to Sam's Club to just teach them how to buy the basics and check out and whatever, like a life skills whatever class. And so the one kid that she works with directly wanted a toy, and of course they weren't there for toys, and so he yelled at them and used some words that a 9-year-old should not be using. And so she called me after school and was like, it was so hard not to laugh because he's so cute. And as he's saying these bad words, you like feel bad because he has this anger, but at the same time, you can't laugh at him, obviously. And I was like, yeah, welcome to being a grown up and having to like be an example for kids. But she's doing a good job. She has the kind of heart for that position. So I'm happy for her. And then Matt's just being Matt, like normal. And me and Ryan are super boring. So there's my life updates on everybody else because I didn't really have a life this week. How about you?
So my daughter finished her social skills group after 6.5 years because she'll be, more because I'm mad about the fact that it's not like she's finished the program or she wanted to and now we're moving on to bigger, better. It's because she turns 21 next week and ages out.
Oh, yeah, that's not fair. I didn't realize that was the reason for ending.
She is not allowed to attend after she turns 21.
But there's no next step program?
Not at this time.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's awful. I'm sorry.
So that's more of, So it was bittersweet. I mean, it was just, I don't think that she's really, it'll hit when she doesn't have it for like the next couple weeks and it's not even an option. It's different. Like if we have something else going on, so then she doesn't go that night or whatever. It's just, it's never going to be on my calendar again.
Yeah.
So that's weird. And then,
do you need something to do with your time? You can drive Madeline some of her activities if you miss that being a chauffeur.
No, I'm good. Thanks.
Her dance studio is right down the road from where your daughter's classes were.
I'm good. But thank you for the offer.
You're very welcome.
And then I had 3 closings this week. I'm like, what did I have going on? I had 3 closings this week. So that kept me busy during the day.
Yeah.
And then had our first board meeting for the school. So I'm just started my 10th term. And it's going to be my last because I'm the parent rep and she finishes at the school in the spring. Yeah. But I already know that I'm going to be on the board as a full board member next year. So
right. They're never letting you go. You're never getting out of that.
Well, there are term limits. However, there's term limits to be a parent rep, but there's not like a max because ultimately, eventually the kids max out. But there's some board members that have been there for like 18 years, but then there is a final term limit, and we lost 3 last year.
Oh, wow.
They would have stayed on for forever. They did stay as long as they could. But,
that'll be you.
That will be me. Yes. So, kind of like a weird week. And we almost have stuff set up for one small part of services. So, yay.
Baby steps.
Yeah. I'll celebrate more when it's kind of finalized. So
right. When you see it actually happens, not just that it's set up.
Exactly. But so that's it. And then join us on Thursday as we talk about Liz and Lucky.
Have a good week.
And we'll meet you at the pier.
Bye.
Bye.
If you enjoyed today's show, we invite you to go to pier54podcast.com to subscribe on your favorite platform. Don't forget to leave us a review.
And you can also follow us on many social media channels. Just search for Pier 54 Podcast. Also, we are not perfect, so if there is something that we missed or messed up, just let us know by emailing us at pier54podcast@gmail.com.